live, baby.
Here we go. We're live for the live stream. Welcome to the Point3 Podcast before the podcast. Live stream, YouTube. Check us out. Spotify. Maybe we'll eventually make it on Apple Podcasts. Who knows? Technical difficulties, but
If
we
Apple
want to give.
stops.
Yeah, if it eventually happens. We're going to give you guys some insight into us prepping, talking, just get to know the Point3 Podcast. My name is Funko Lou. I will turn it over to the other members of the trio.
Yeah, I'm Hero Scroll, also known as Jonathan, which I don't know if I've ever said that on like any of my socials.
It's just a slip up. It's just a slip up every once in a while.
Yeah.
I am Brandon, otherwise known as Spider Brando or Brando's Funkos. Out here.
Represent.
Call
Just
me
days.
Spider Brando for a reason.
Oh, yeah.
It's
This
not
is the
going to
first
be
time
It's not
people
going to be
can
an
see
episode
us.
where I don't flex the tattoo.
You have to. You have
Every
to.
time.
You have to.
Every time.
How many
Yeah, because
weeks until
people don't get to see us.
Till
No.
Spider-Verse?
Too,
Are we gonna
I think.
Yeah, tomorrow is 2 weeks till my showing, baby.
Oh, man.
It's freaking nuts to think that. I have it on my calendar, in my work calendar in my office, just so like I know it's like I know to work around it. And I hit me that like just seeing like just one square for next week is just pretty clear, and then the following week the square for the Spider-Verse. Wow. It feels crazy. Like we just got Guardians, and then we're gonna get Spider-Verse,
Yeah,
and then
'cause
Flash. Like
we're eating good. We're eating
Yep.
good.
Bro, like honestly, May through July, kind of, we don't get a break with movies. Like I know, for the people that are watching, we probably won't get to talk about every single one, like Fast and Furious or Fast X, if you're fans of that.
oh yeah.
I'm a fan. I told my wife, I'm like, I've invested too much time into this series to not finish it. So I do want to watch it. Transformers, which is a big one for me, but I don't, just because of the nature of things, we're just not gonna have the time to cover all of them. But yeah, no, the next 2 months are stacked with movies.
And who knows what news is going to come out. It's like it's stacked as of right now.
Yeah.
And we know they're going to up some news on us in the next couple weeks, like the random Disney news that we just got. So a disclaimer for anyone who listens to the Point3 Podcast and listens to us, typically we format things where we'll do news, then we'll kind of go into some trivia. We'll give you guys some information about characters that are relevant right now with what's going on or what's about to come out. Typically it's like MCU or DCU based, but we have a really good deep dive that's coming up. So if you're seeing this, check out Spotify for sure, where we're going to have a full deep dive episode that's coming out, and it's fantastic. We're hyped. We're really excited. So that's why we moved this news stuff a little bit earlier, so we can still try to talk about some of these things, such as Loki season 2 and Echo
Everybody's
2023.
most hype. Everybody's most hype show, Echo.
Okay, I need to tell you guys something real quick.
In the background.
I need to throw this out here and say this. So in my darker days of being an MCU fan, I was very hard on the franchise. Like everyone, the studio, Feige, like I thought that Echo was going to blow us out of the water when I heard that Maya Lopez was going to be in Hawkeye. And it was flop season. I did not like her character. I did not like her portrayal. I was not a fan of the tracksuits. Like I did not love Hawkeye like everyone else did. So I am very, very glad that they decided to release all episodes at once and for a binge watch. Best choice.
Yeah,
I agree. I 100% agree on that.
Yeah, we were talking about it in our separate group chat, and I think we all said that, right? That's the best move Marvel could have done, because genuinely the drop off that this show would have been catastrophic.
Yeah.
Like if you think people were singing doom and gloom for Marvel now with like Miss Marvel, She-Hulk, yeah, people were complaining about those and still do, but the amount of people that would have came out for Echo would have been so much worse. So this is probably the best thing. And I mean, who knows? Maybe the show might be absolutely amazing when it comes out. Who knows? But
I mean,
with the way they wrote her character in Hawkeye, it left a little to be desired.
Yeah.
Even Hawkeye in general left a little to be desired. Like, I enjoyed Kate Bishop and Yelena. Their like chemistry together was really good. And even Kate and Clint had good chemistry together. But then it was like the story around it. They kind of throw away the Ronin thing. Like, they tease it again, and then they're just like, yeah, no, here's your quick like 10 minutes about it.
Yeah.
We'll throw that away.
Don't get me started on my number one biggest complaint with Hawkeye. You get Kingpin, who gets pretty much stalemated with Kate Bishop in his costume. Like, no offense to anyone who is the costume designer for that, but the choice that they made for Kingpin with the white like jacket and pants with the Hawaiian shirt and the hat, and it just didn't translate too well in my opinion. But yeah, no good. I will say, I think that this opportunity for Echo is kind of like a blueprint. The same way I feel about Secret Invasion is how I feel about Echo. It's a chance to give us different exposure, but you don't have time for all the haters to kind of swing in. We were talking about this in the group chat. You don't have a week by week. It's 6 days of hate and defense being played by MCU fans, and then that is the superhero fatigue. That gets exhausting. Yeah. I'm not exhausted about the next couple months being littered with movies that are going to be fantastic and enjoyable and entertaining. I got tired of posting something about She-Hulk and seeing notifications, and it's just, I want to talk about the positive in the show. I want to talk about what I did like, not revoke my MCU license because I said I like She-Hulk or Miss Marvel.
Yeah, absolutely. Because then it's like, even you look at what we did this week in preparation for the episode. For those that don't know, can I say it? Are we okay if I say it?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we're doing an MCU trilogy deep dive, kind of ranking the best. So I think all of us here, we watched some of the movies. And I watched probably 4 or 5 over the week. So yeah. Monday and Tuesday I watched 2, and today I only watched 1 movie. But
what'd you watch today?
Iron Man 2.
I watched Iron Man 2 yesterday. Yeah, I watched Quantumania today.
Yeah. Ooh. Well, you're gonna have to tune in to hear our feelings, because I have feelings on Iron Man 2. Iron Man 2, I have feelings. And you know what? Surprisingly, Thor 2, I was surprised a little bit. Anyways, point being that, I watched 5 movies in the span of 3 days, and I wasn't tired of it. No. And their qualities ranged, but it was nice just being able to be like, oh, didn't particularly care for that one, and then just move on.
That's the thing. You made a choice. I mean, I think we had a purpose to watch these, in the perspective that we took on some of this stuff, I think is a little bit different. I think there is something to be said about doing something that we're doing, right? All of us. Spider-Man, you're throwing stuff in there. Hero Scroll, you're throwing stuff in there. And how many times did all of us say, like, wow, I either didn't realize this, and we most likely have heard it before, but time passes and it just wasn't, at the forefront. But the MCU relevance and how things change, I think I tolerated every single movie that I watched on here and made a conscious effort to watch things that I previously thought weren't that great.
Same.
And that was pretty cool to go back and see. I just had different perspective, and I think mindset matters when it comes to watching these movies, especially when you have pressure from a face and you're just like, if I support this, am I going to be attacked? And if I attack this, am I going to be attacked?
For sure.
I was really only able to watch Captain America: The Winter Soldier, just because I felt like that was one movie it's always praised upon highly by everybody, and I liked it, but I definitely needed to rewatch it just to get like the full gist of it again. And I'll tell you some revelations I found out in there and how it connected to a certain other MCU movie. I can't believe I didn't put that 2 and 2 together.
Do you think you guys were more surprised by everything that we did, like kind of like the pre-work we did for this podcast for the trilogy? Were you more or less surprised in terms of like what you thought or the overall feel of these movies?
I'll tell you, my rankings have changed a lot since we first just discussed doing an episode, or even like once Guardians came out, getting the idea of like best trilogy overall. I haven't been able to stop thinking about it, and I'm still torn, to be honest. Like at this moment, what I want to put as my 1 or 2, just because it's so hard for me to decide things. But I will. My ranking will be set before it needs to be set.
I went back and forth on mine for a little bit. I kind of did like a pre-rank before I did the deep dive into these things from like a numbers standpoint, and then actually watching the movies back. And we'll get in. Seriously, if you guys are watching this now, go listen to this podcast. I think that we're going to bring some really, really good perspective in terms of why the best is the best and why the worst is the worst. And I think it's fair. I think we all kind of have like at least a neutral mindset, and the biases aren't overrunning how we really feel about this, minus Spider-Man movie.
Dude, Spider-Man is
something. I was waiting for him to say something.
Spider-Man
I'm sorry, I zoned out for a little bit.
Dude, so I'll be honest. I did the same thing you just said. I had my rewatch list, and then it changed completely. Nothing is in the same spot. Nothing. So it's gonna be fun. But no, I was surprised because I think some of these movies, like Iron Man 2, I hadn't watched since 2015, 2016. Like it's been a long time, like a very long time. And I was surprised to see how I felt about the movie and how differently I watched it. Just because even if it's not for the podcast, I think how we watch movies now is different, right? The knowledge that we've gained, and then the perspective of everything, of where it goes, and to see like some of the things that Iron Man sets up, and like they're just casually throwing out Avengers Initiative out like towards the middle and end of it. And I remember Black Widow being in it. I don't remember her being in it for 75% of the movie.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. Things like that. Like it's just cool to see that. So definitely surprised in those ways.
And two, the last time I did a big rewatch like this, because you figure this is what, 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18 movies plus 4. So we're talking 20 plus movies that we kind of have to cycle through overall.
Yeah.
Plus the honorable mention.
I was gonna ask, are we doing this honorable mention here, or is that a podcast thing? The honorable mention.
Yeah, we can say it, but I think we'll still touch on it deeper.
Yeah. We'll wait. It's the Avengers, though. I think the group consensus was they can't go in because they're kind of their own beast in terms of a trilogy.
Yeah.
So it's kind of hard to be, but we'll talk about it.
They're not solo standalone. I mean, I know a lot of people I have heard debate Civil War being a part of the Captain America trilogy. And
I'll get into that for sure.
Yeah.
That's going to be a kind of a big point that I have towards Cap's trilogy. So you bring up a good point.
Beyond that, nothing else really stuck out. The only other thing that I'll say to that point from an Avengers standpoint is when you rewatched a lot of these movies, these 20 plus movies, basically the Infinity Saga, you really were looking for different things. And I think some people, they did like speed watches. And when you really slow down with these movies and maybe pause it, I'm a big pauser when it comes to my movies. I'm definitely someone who maybe will take a note, or I'll drop something, in my notes page, or I'll look something up. Yeah. Like I think we all kind of do that even on our own. You take a second. I would probably say there are two characters that I did that with that were eye-opening for me. And I appreciated the movies more and the characters just a little bit more when I slowed down versus a rushing, so I could learn as much as I possibly could in preparation for Endgame and Infinity War.
Yeah. Great stuff. And I'm sure we'll talk about it later. I know this is, I don't know if this qualifies as news, but something else that came out. Have any of you seen the big Captain America leaks? Or not? I guess set photo leaks.
Photos, yeah. I saw it. They changed the suit a little bit. And it's
they did.
He had a perfect suit at the end of that episode.
But it's like a darker. Well, should we get into this? Kind of out there, right?
I guess we can. Spoiler warning for me. The rumor warning. Beep, 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 beep.
Go away if you don't want to hear it.
Yeah, don't go away. Just mute us. Just mute us. We'll wait when we're done. Yeah, don't leave. We want the watch.
Yeah, don't leave. We love you. We love you. No, but his suit is darker and it has a gold thing. You know what it just reminded me of? Homelander.
Ooh.
He's giving straight Homelander costume vibes.
Interesting. Yeah, I don't want to say this movie is going to be a sleeper, but I'm actually getting more excited about it because of the cast of characters that are going to be included in this, how they navigate everyone's role and screen time to be determined. But you have the thing that I can't get over with this movie, though, where it's still just that little thing that is bothering me. Sam Wilson as Captain America. I didn't like him as Falcon personally. I like the comic version of Falcon a little bit better. I like his power set a little bit better. I like what he does. But I just can't get on board as Sam Wilson being the leader or kind of the main guy for the non-existent Avengers team. And that's how everyone I feel is talking about him. He's like the de facto guy. I don't feel that way. Maybe I'll feel that way after this movie, but I definitely don't feel that way right now.
The best character that I think you can compare him to is Rhodey. In a way, where they're kind of like Cap's right hand. Both have a heavier, or not even a heavier. They both have a straight. What is that freaking shot noise? Jesus. I don't know if someone's shooting guns into an apartment or if it's fireworks. I don't know. Anyways, in the sense that they both, if you look at both Rhodey and Sam, they both come out in the second movie, right? Yeah. In the second movie, that's when they become more prominent. But I feel like Rhodey has a little more to do, and his relationship with Tony feels a little more cohesive, I guess, a little more fleshed out. Granted, maybe it's because they got more time together, or we got more time to see him.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I also agree. It'll be interesting to see what they do, because I like his character.
Yeah, I don't mind him.
I think
not as the guy.
And I think that's just because Falcon and Captain America and Winter Soldier didn't hit as hard as I think Marvel wanted it to.
And we can save that for the deep dive.
Yeah.
I have thoughts about that.
I liked Falcon. I liked. I'm not gonna go into deep dive stuff, but one thing you mentioned about not really liking Sam as Falcon, I got that same vibe when I was rewatching Winter Soldier. You're just kind of like, eh. He was just there. We'll save the rest for later.
Yeah,
100%. I do want to make sure we do touch on this other news piece. Wait. We need to say this. Shout out Seth freaking Rollins making his MCU debut here. Hopefully, spoiler warning, cover your ears for the next 5 seconds. Maybe. Rumor warning. The Serpent Society. It shouldn't be a rumor at this point. It's been rumored for a very long time. If you're anyone who's into it, the Serpent Society was always kind of supposed to be the main antagonist group of Cap 4. Yeah, I think he could be good. And also, shout out to the new Falcon. They have some set photos of his suit, which I think could look really cool. I don't know. Do we want to touch on the Superman casting rumors that have kind of been in our face for the last few days?
I think we should. Brandon, do you want to kick us off with those names?
So we got where'd they go?
You have to know these by memory.
I don't know them by memory. That's the embarrassing
wow,
part.
Dude, you're telling me that a podcast and live stream, they have to look at notes? They have to
whoa. Because I didn't know who the actors were. It was David Cornsweet.
Now, hang on. Just that point. That's exactly what I wanted to talk about. Everyone's throwing out all these actor names, and they're just like, yeah, these people are supposed to rumor to play. I'm like, who?
They're nobodies. They are nobodies.
I'm not gonna lie. Like, I saw the tweet that I saw James Gunn's tweet about like completely shutting pretty much everything down, and I was like, okay, like once it gets casted, you know. I don't really have a preference for the Superman casting as much as I do for Fantastic Four.
Oh,
and I'm like, I'm in
Luthor
those
for some reason. I was waiting on the Lex Luthor.
I heard I was waiting for Lex Luthor. Which, I mean, Nicholas Hoult as Lex Luthor, I think it could work.
Sean Gunn.
Yeah, dude. But he's got to be in mocap. He's got to be in this mocap suit the whole time. That's it. As his normal suit.
He played an evil bald dude in Suicide Squad and Calendar Man, so I mean,
let him.
Might as well.
Did you guys? No, I don't want to spoil anything. There's a character in Invincible. If you know who I'm talking about, he poses himself as one character, but he's actually not who he seems to be. And there's another version of him. I want a live action version of that character played by Sean Gunn. I just want to see how he does it. I'm sorry, though. I do think that Nicholas Hoult could be a good Lex Luthor. And if you guys don't know who we're talking about Young Beast / Hank McCoy from the live action X-Men. What was he first in First Class?
First Class, and then onward. He was Beast. Yeah.
I think he could be good. However, I still would prefer someone who has more of a presence as Lex Luthor. Jesse Eisenberg was whatever. I don't care who else. The CW version of Lex Luthor for Crisis on Infinite Earths, get him out too. I am all for petitioning for Dave Bautista to be Lex Luthor.
Ooh.
I want it.
That would be good.
It's good. I just don't think they're gonna do that.
No, I don't think they're gonna do it.
I don't think.
Dude, Lex Luthor should be insane in these Superman movies, but like you need someone who's opposing. I think that's the one thing that's missing. Like you can't stand across him and be like, oh, I don't know. I think they need a physical opposition as someone who's a little bit older and more mature Lex Luthor, who's like,
Yeah.
I need to be juiced up. Like I need to find every edge I can get to beat Superman.
Well, the thing is though, with this Superman movie, it seems like they're really kind of going with youth, right? And
It's weird. It's kind of
not
confusing,
youth, but like it seems like they're trying to make this another kind of origin, but not almost like a year 2 type of, like a year 2 Superman. Because even like you look at the actresses for Lois Lane, who I know none of them. Emma McKay, Phoebe Denver, Samara Weaving.
Bridgerton. I'm sorry. Shout out to Bridgerton. It's literally on in my house upstairs right now. At least
my wife loves that show. Samara Weaving and Rachel. I can't say that, but Rachel B. I mean, I don't know any of these women. And then the Superman actors, the top 2 are Andrew Richardson and Tom Brittney, who I looked up their IMDb pages, and it's like next to nothing.
Yeah. It could be good. For the sake of keeping costs down, I always want people to get equal pay and all those types of things. I think bringing in a group of characters, or I guess actors and actresses who can stick around for chapter 1 of Gods and Monsters and at least make it through chapter 2. I think this Superman movie, if you're signing up to do this, you're probably looking at a 5 to 10 year contract of appearances.
Yeah, they're making back.
Yeah. Spider-Man, I stole your thunder, but we're about to transition to our podcast and deep dive for the MCU trilogy. Does anyone want to hit us with the Guardians fallout? We're still going to put in the podcast. It's still going to be in the podcast, but let's drop some knowledge here, and we'll drop it again over there. But I think it's worth double dipping.
Oh yeah,
you got that. It was a 49% drop off in the box office, which is the second best in out of the MCU movies.
That's a good thing. Yes,
a very good thing. It did not hit my my prediction of getting over 100 mil for second weekend, but got 60. It's pretty close. Only about 40 mil off, but
I'm just saying, as a group, I'm not going to steal anyone's thunder, but did someone call 60 mil?
No,
I know it wasn't me.
Close.
I think I said, and I specifically was probably the harshest one. That was like, I think you said 70 or 80, and I was like, well, if they don't hit 80 or 70, like
it's dead.
They're in trouble. They're done. But I take it back. I didn't have the knowledge of the drop off thing. And then I also had to remember, that was just a heat of the moment thing, that post pandemic box office is very different. So and a 49% drop off, like only less than half, that's pretty good. That's really good.
Oh, speaking of this, I guess some news, but I was surprised that the Mario movie is out on like digital and streaming already.
Yeah, it
Even
happened.
though I freaking like, it's like came out a month and 2 weeks ago, made like $1 billion. They dropped that stuff already.
And they're like, we're done.
Yeah.
I mean, they can because they can. I actually think it's smart. Like, if you $1 billion mark, why not?
Yeah, I still have to see it, so I might go rent it this weekend and freaking watch it.
I agree. I mean, thanks to TikTok, I've seen like half the movie, but
well, I mean, you think about it. I just looked it up. Their budget was $100 million.
It's dumb, dude. They made enough to do a decade's worth of movies and pay whoever they want.
Dude, it's crazy because even Miyamoto,
they had a budget of $100 million, but still had like Chris Pratt, Jack Black.
Because I mean, they probably
and all those people in there.
They more than likely knew that it was gonna probably be something that is gonna generate them a boatload of money.
Yeah.
And again, even Miyamoto, who's the creator of Mario, the video game creator of Mario, even he was like, "Yo, this movie surpassed my expectations in terms of box office." So, I mean, yeah, no, they can go on digital because they're set for. I'm telling you, get ready for the MCU, the Nintendo Cinematic Universe.
I'm all for it.
Now, if
I'm all for it.
Now that's a franchise who could tie in games with movies, with TV shows, and all that kind of stuff. They could take over that entire. Nintendo may have just extended their life forever.
Yeah, they struggle. Movie gold, finally.
Yeah. Well, good for them. And again, shout out to Chris Pratt for just. We thought I'm forgetting his name, Pedro Pascal.
Pedro Pascal.
Yeah. We thought it was his year. He's all over like dual billboards next to each other. Chris Pratt said, "Move over."
This is my month.
Yeah, this is my month. Well, I think it's time. We're gonna head on over. Thanks for watching. Go to Spotify, listen to season 1, episode 2, MCU Trilogy Deep Dive. Where does the Guardians of the Galaxy trilogy rank among the other 6 trilogies? And for a lot of people, they didn't realize that the MCU has trilogies. Just so you know, Ant-Man, Captain America, Guardians of the Galaxy, Iron Man, Spider-Man, and Thor, minus Love and Thunder. There are your MCU trilogies. Honorable mention, The Avengers. But wait, there are 4 movies. Pretty much you can combine Infinity War and Endgame into one. So there you have it. Gave you some knowledge. We'll see you guys in the podcast.